Hello, my name is Godwin Enoch, and I'm a broadcast journalist. Yes, my friend will tell me that.
Every time we move it, every time we shift.
Malo no get it, check out my own. Yeah, I'ma get malo my petty mo pe no. Eh, mama gbesa for me mo pe no. Say, baby man no get it. I'ma get mine no get it. I'ma go show my mama no, oh mama, mama no la oh mama, eh oh mama me oh mama, for my baby oh mama, mama no oh mama, mama no oh mama, see yeah, show my wow, baby girl think I want show my wow. The bag with some more, show my wife. See my best to my shoulder. Boma, oh, boma. Boma, wa, bomu, titi, wa. The bag with some more, shoulder, oh, hey. Say, baby, man, no get it. I'ma get mine, no get it. I'ma get show my. Why show my job? Hey, want my mommy, oh, want my mom. For my baby, oh, want my mom. Mama, no, oh, want my mom. Of course, it's not just the former for just being that way, and it's obviously not the second highest scoring striker for the Super Eagles of Nigeria brings to the table. He has gone back just like he never left, and has given 3FM. What a night we had yesterday in the FA Champions League. The match day in the last 3 seasons in the FA Champions League. From now till 7 p.m. we drive it started. Some would also kick off ᴜᴜᴜ. Alessia is going to spin off for them tonight. It looks like Ancelotti is in a crisis, but he said he's going to manage the situation and he's got everything. 6:10, we need to pay some bills. And when we come back, we'll go full throttle. We'll also have update for African Cup of Nations qualifier. It's a 2-legged qualifier, and on Tuesday next week they'll be back to the second leg. Super quality in the sides, Women African Cup of Nations next year in Morocco. So we'll talk about all of those. Also, the Flamingos would also hope to revive their Women under 17 World Cup, find their way around France. France won their first game also by 4-2 against Samoa. The FIFA under 17 Women World Cup. We'll talk about all of those on the show today as well. So, hey, it's a chin into the conversation today on the show. Of course, yesterday's game, early kickoff, Barcelona defeated Olympiacos by 6-1 as Kyra, and they needed to turn up, and they turn up in a grand style. 4 goals in a space of 14 minutes, with another set-piece goal coming from the highest scoring defender in the last 3 seasons in any of the leagues across Europe. Talking about their captain, Gabriel. As 9 games for club and country without a goal. He made it 2 yesterday night, and with also made it 2. Victor Gyökeres got 2 more goals to defeat Atletico Madrid by 4-0. And the other big result yesterday night, as defending champions PSG went to the Bayer Arena to beat Bergen, and they defeated Copenhagen by 4-2. Newcastle United, Mourinho, of course, back-to-back away trip to, I think, the biggest result or the biggest shocking result of the night. Also, the one of the 2 clubs that are yet to concede a single goal in the Champions League this season. 3 games, 3 wins, 10 goal scores not conceded. The second team yet to concede. Pep Guardiola returned to Villarreal the Yellow Submarine, and defeated Villarreal by 2-0. Those were a result of games that were seen in the FA Champions League yesterday. There were also games in the English Premier League Championship, as Sheffield United moved from last position by 2-1, with Charlton Athletic beating Ipswich Town at home by 3-0. Meanwhile, Stoke City, and this is now 4 points at the top of the championship log. Then yesterday at Bristol City defeated Southampton by 3-1. Early kickoff in the FA Champions League as Atalanta would hope it's a new season again for Vincent Kompany, as he has extended his contract till 2029 with the German side. In the entire 10, they've scored 40 goals, and so they're in the bridge with also Liverpool, Real Madrid, and Juventus. Obviously, the biggest game for the night at the Santiago Bernabeu by 8 p.m. and City with those Queen Park Rangers, Watford versus West Bromwich Albion, and Wrexham versus Oakland. When we come back, I will look at the Flamingos. We'll also look at the Spurs, and I will talk about so many other competitions that are up for grabs tonight. Stick around. It's Sports Cruise live on Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Cʀᴜɪnᴜ and I'm a broadcast journalist. Yes, my friend will tell me that I am a sport administrator by accident. Listen.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Nigerians, the biggest opportunity of a lifetime has arrived. The Dominican Republic is calling you to step in and invest in one of the fastest growing and most lucrative real estate markets in the booming real estate market of the Dominican Republic. And here's the best part. Your investment comes with guaranteed citizenship. The returns in Dominican.king-inc.com or call Barrister Ayara 080-350-5771-02599. King Limited.
Todd, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again. Oh, this malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine. We dey knock down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you, Oga Luta. I don't dey can't pay. Luta, brand of Archie, your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
(26) 2025. Venue, the Assembly Hall, Greyland, Eju Hills, Lagos. Time 4 p.m. Topic of lecture, Awake. Announcer, Alexander Barnhart Publishing Company Limited. For further information, please call 0816-536-3714.
Love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Hello, Daddy. I just want to say again that I love you and I like that we look alike.
Hello, Auntie.
Hi, Diola.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How's family? I hope everyone is good. My regards to everyone. I'm basically getting 6 minutes free talk time for every 6 minutes call I make every day, plus 50 MB data bonus. And for new customers like me, I get additional 25 minutes talk time and 1 GB data welcome bonus. That's why I only...
And enjoy a one-time 2,000 Naira conditions apply.
Glow Unlimited.
Hey, looking to buy, sell, rent, or build? Log on to myplace.ng now or call us on 080-35680569. The number to call again is 080-35680569. myplace.ng. Your
genius waiting to be discovered, or you are an employer searching for bold minds who think differently, create fearlessly, and deliver results? Then this is for you. It is the Jobberman Career Fair of October 2025 at Daystar Christian Center, Annex 2, Oregun, Ikeja. Join the top employers, businesses, and some of the Nigeria's brightest talent all coming together in one exciting space to connect, learn, and explore new opportunities. Don't.career-fair. Don't miss it. Mark the date, tell your crew, and pull Nigeria in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation. Don't miss it.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
Hello, my name is Cʀᴜɪnᴜ and I'm a broadcast journalist. Yes, my friend will tell me that I am a sport administrator by accident. Listen every day of the weekday to Sports Cruise on Mainland FM.
Shabby, you want banger to banger. You can never top on spinal. Never top on bad. I get you more. Go say, I'm a Timo. Go to Shalaye. Oh, yeah, wait for the moolah. I say, wait for the baba. Oh, yeah, I'm on no shillish. Let me see what. Let me see what. Oh, yeah, get off, Baba. Baba.
understand why the hypes keeps going on, and then people second goal for the night. Well, it's got the first one in the 3rd minute, and exactly 30 minutes after it's got this before we leave the studio today. But let's take some news from the Super Falcons Friday. The Super Falcons of Nigeria's hotel are Sarakawa based in Lumen African Cup of Nations qualified against the Amazons of Chelalozie, Esther Abiodun and Deborah. PSG midfielder Jennifer Echejin has already been ruled out of the qualifiers due to hamstring injury. The next week Tuesday. Okay, and the manager of the side, Benin Republic, and of course there are also words that the manager of the side, Justin Madugu, has issued a stern warning to Nigeria's women national team ahead of the WAFCON qualifier doubleheader against the Amazons of Benin Republic, insisting that total concentration will be key if the defending champions are to make a strong start to their title defense. The Falcons are set to face Benin in the first leg in Togo on Friday before returning home to Abeokuta for the decisive second leg on Tuesday next week. The two Africans and Nigerians with decorated female football players stressed that the opening game away from home will be crucial and urge the players is tricky, but if you stay focused, one line I would always disagree with. Hey, there are some teams that if you catch them, you teach them some solid footballing lesson. Well, she also praised the team recent question under the manager Justin Madugu, talking about Stella Mbajibade, Esther Okoronkwo, and Chiamaka Nadozie in contention.
Just move on up. Complication.
Full 4-1 defeat to Canada in their opening game fixtures. Nigerians are 17 girls who find themselves fighting for survival against a history and something at stake for the Flamingos. Time before France edged the Flamingos 5-3 on penalties to advance to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. And that memory lingers. Defeat could automatically end their World Cup journey. At minimum, a draw is essential, but a win will flip the entire narrative heading into the final game against the small island Samoa. France play with speed, fluidity, and dominant structure in a 4-2 victory over Samoa, and they were absolutely ruthless. Nigeria showed flashes of brilliance against Canada when they scored, but defied their mental steel, as this is no longer about tactics alone but also about character. At the Football Academy Mohammed pitch 1 8 p.m. tonight in Rabat. The Flamingos would not just be playing France. If they lose tonight, they mathematically they are done and dusted. Be the ones that are playing next on Saturday, which should give us against a very confident French side that won their first game by 4-2.
Move on up.
Hello, my name is Godwin. First Cruise on Mainland FM. God bless you.
His game against with his 4-9 with Tammy Bournemouth with 17 of 105 top scoring, Alice Capsey 38 and Charlie Dean 26. Sima Lorabelle nailed Phoebe Litchfield off as they became 68-4 when Beth Money and Puta followed a century against New Zealand on this ground on the 1st of October with another 3-figure knock, one in which she pumped Capsey for 3 consecutive 4 balls to spare as the defending champions beat their fellow confirmed semi-finalists to stay unbeaten and move back for Young Sports Cruise.
Take nothing less than the supreme best. Do not obey, you must be forsaken, but you can pass the test.
Of course, for the lovers, the first practice session at the Mexican Grand Prix this Friday. During the session, each Formula 1 team must run a rookie in at least 2 practice sessions for both of their cars, and the relative simplicity of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, which is not a street circuit nor in a race of a sprint event. In the Mexican Grand Prix, for Mercedes is Frederic Vesti, replacing George Russell. For Red Bull is going to be Arvid Lombland, replacing Max Verstappen. For Williams is Luke Brownie, protagonist to have full preparation ahead of in the season-ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in December, as he has only made once so far the penultimate round in Qatar for 28th to 30th of November 2025. At the Las Vegas Grand Prix between the weekend of 24th to 23rd tracks for British teenager Alvin Limbad 26. A Red Bull advisor Montemarco confirmed a decision will be made after Mexico on which of Max Verstappen's teammate next year, or who is going to be Max Verstappen's team. Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, and Lambla to fight for the other race replaces North Brown. And still live on Sports Cruise on mainland 98.3 FM. We have to drift a little at the games that are going on strong. As at the last time, it's still Galatasaray leading Bodo Glimt by 2-0, and got the first goal in the 3rd minute and his second goal for the night to give Galatasaray a 2-goal lead by the 33rd minute. So he had 2 goals in 30 minutes interval 5 by the end of August. Piastri led the Drivers' Championship by 34 points over Norris and 104 points over Max Verstappen just 5 rounds ago. Now his advantage has been cut to 14 points to Norris and Fins, but the manner of his championship advantage has dwindled and will be a big concern. So the question is, what exactly has gone wrong? The first race after Zandvoort was the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, where McLaren asked Piastri during Q2 to give Norris a tow to ensure the British driver reached the last part of qualifying. And Norris went as little to separate the McLaren during the 53-lap race, but ahead of the only pit stop phase, Norris unusually led Piastri to pit first, despite being ahead on track. Norris stopped a lap later than his teammate, but in its issue had issue with the tightening and the wheels nut of his front left tire meant his stop was 3 seconds slower than planned, and it enabled Piastri. I don't really get what has changed here, but if you really want me to do it, then I will do it. As it stands right now, after qualifying, Sip moved down inside turn 3 on the teammate, touching the back of Max Verstappen and making contact with Piastri, who nearly went into the walls. The steward did not a podium. Well, just 1 year after this time around, it was one of the 6 drivers to crash in a dramatic qualifying straight into anti-stall. So far, it's looking like Max Verstappen is absolutely back into this one, and if he eventually wins, it's going to be 504 points adrift of the table-topping Oscar Piastri. But right now, it's just 40 points adrift of Oscar Piastri, and there are still 5 races to go, 2 sprint Constructors Championship, but there is the main championship to fight for, and this is going to be a race for the wires. Well, Mexico this weekend is still Abu Dhabi also up for grabs, and one of my very, very favorite racetracks in the Formula 1.
Into the speedboat, a beautiful people, where there's only one kind. So
Felipe Mateta, Crystal Palace says everything is good with Universal, despite the public spark. He said he's going to play for the French national team. Where he made his debut at the age of 28. I mean, a slow starter, you want to say, but he got a goal on his debut. And he's disappointed that after all these years, he still held such thought against him. And Mateta replied in the best way possible. Philippe Mateta claimed the former teammate Universal doubted he could earn a French call-up. As Zaha says, it was nasty and disgusting that Mateta mentioned only his name. Mateta says everything is good between the pair and no cause to worry. And Mateta made this at the national level. At Crystal Palace, right at the start when I wasn't even playing, I spoke about Crystal Palace, but I responded saying that was my objective, and I simply had to play to show that I could do that. Zaha Leo's claims indicating there were just some misinterpretation and he didn't like it. Zaha responded with a video, but as it is right now, it looked like everything has been a contribution behind Jose and Universal. The Frenchman was very reluctant to speak about the seeming issue between them, and is the only player to have scored him in the Premier League in 2025. And the big Frenchman is a man of few words in front of the media, that in spite of the larger than life all his energy into during a run of 4 matches in 9 days, there's little chance that Mateta will get an evening off, and he will therefore have another chance to impress the French.
Hello, my name is Godwin Enakin. I'm a broadcast journalist. Yes, my friend will tell me that I am a sport administrator by accident. Listen every day of the weekday to Sports Cruise on mainland FM. Go.
Yeah. Tell me, baby girl, how you do? Baby, tell me, this love, now one thing, yo.
Live with us on Sports Cruise on mainland 98.3 FM as the early games in the FA Champions, and we've seen the end of the first 45 minutes. The other game that has started early, Victor Osimhen scoring both goals, and it's still 45 minutes and it's half time. The other game of the Debona Lukman would host Dutch champions AFC Ajax. Eintracht Frankfurt would host Liverpool to join up with and slot at Anfield at the end of this game. Tonight by 8 p.m. is going to be Sporting CP versus Olympique Marseille. So let's look at the game yesterday between Arsenal and Atletico at Santiago Bernabeu. And of course, 6 months after demolishing their city rivals, it was the turn of Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid who was there. Declan Rice delivering 2 set pieces, being a common denominator. Feels different. It may even be better. But Arsenal made more reasons to. Arsenal have more reasons to say they can win the trophies this season. Maybe the Champions League or the street-wise in Europe, if in the last decade, if anything to go by. And this was not a bad performance from the Spanish side. It was a vintage Athletic for possible to break down themselves, and not for the first time in the last Champions League game against Eintracht Frankfurt. They had only one open play, which is Erling Haaland, their club history. They have 9 clean sheets already this season. So for all of the talk of George Graham and Arsene Wenger's famous back four, this backline is currently operating at a very higher frequency. And that is not only area where Arsenal are going into overdrive. The set pieces are becoming, quite frankly, ridiculous, and it looks like for every corner scenario in a single game. As an opposition, even if you defend well in a match, the set pieces team will still get to. At Fulham on Saturday, Marco Silva's side defended immaculately until the 58th minute when Leandro Trossard scored from a corner. On Tuesday, Atleti also did the same, but Gabriel found a corner. Arsenal will get a goal. Some accuse Arsenal of relying on set pieces far too much, but when they operated them at this level, there were a few critics for Vitor Gyökeres, who is now 9 games without scoring for club and country coming into the Athletic game. He was also accused of start padding his goals numbers against Leicester side over the past year, a narrative mainly fired at him in Portugal. But this was 2 goals in a big Champions League night, and not just and Gabriel Martinelli. Next international break, then Arsenal have another huge weapon in their locker. Nobody has got close to harming Arsenal in a month. They are now the Premier with Diego Simeone's side. How close can they get this season to winning those 2 trophies? So Arsenal's next 5 games will be at the Emirates Stadium against Crystal Palace, away at the Amex Stadium against Brighton, at home against Burnley. They play Slavia Prague in the FA Champions League, then Sunderland, and after the international break, and slot 4 losses on the bounce, 3 in the Premier League and 1 in the last time out in the FA Champions League. Their Liverpool tenure has been plain sail his first season at the helm, and making the job look easy after stepping into the very last shoes vacated by Jurgen Klopp in 2024. The news different now. Off the back of consecutive defeat to Crystal Palace, Galatasaray and Chelsea in both the Premier League and the FA Champions League, Sunday's damaging home reverse in the hands of Manchester United, the Red Devils' first victory at Anfield in 9 years, has seemingly pushed Slot closer to the end of the tether that we have never seen him before. Of course, no one likes to lose to a fiercest rival, especially not in front of your fans. But Slot's reaction smudging to shoulder some blame and address what exactly is going on. But instead, he aimed repeated digs at United. There was something undeniably club about Slot's unique outburst with his predecessor, a notoriously sore loser during his time at Anfield dugout. However, when the going got tough, the German tactician knew he has to take responsibility, something Slot must also learn as Liverpool. But Sunday's damaging defeat at home in front of their fans was clearly the biggest test of his patience so far. When he emerged for his post-match between Harry Maguire's 84th minute winner and the end of his team talk in the belly of the Reds' famed home ground, Slot has seemingly established a line of ability or point finger at his play in the Premier League and won to a Victor Osimhen inspired Galatasaray. I'm so happy to mention Victor is better than him right now. Actor Alan, he's caught.
Tell me that I am a sport administrator by accident.
Thank you very much for helping us to be a part of your jolly day to Friday. Well, the team list for Chelsea's game is out, but before we take that in the Champions League, let's look at the CAF African Footballer of the Year awards as Victor Osimhen and Mohamed Salah make CAF 2025 African Male, celebrating the continent top performance among players, coaches, clubs, and the national 2025. The nominations highlight those who have made major contribution to the sport. The experienced coaches CAF legend as selected media representative selected 10 nominees for each categories. Salah headlined the list after commanding season with Napoli and Liverpool respectively, as well as their national Champions League title. Achraf Hakimi for Morocco and PSG, Victor Osimhen for Nigeria and Galatasaray, and Iliman Ndiaye for Senegal and Everton. So let's run you through the nominees for the men's player of the year category. For Egypt and Liverpool, Achraf Hakimi for Morocco and PSG, Ousmane and Pape Matar for Senegal and Tottenham. Team Manchester United in the final. Victor Osimhen won the Turkish League and the Turkish Cup with Galatasaray. Achraf Hakimi won that got it both in the German Bundesliga and in the UEFA Champions League. Of course, Mohamed Salah guided Liverpool to their second league under Onana, Cameroon, and Trabzonspor of Turkey, Vozina of Cape Verde, and Chavez, Ahmed El Shenawi of Egypt, and Pyramid FC, Muni Mohamedi for Morocco, and RS Bakine. And there's also for Senegal and Al Ali. Also in the Saudi League, there's Rowan Williams for South African national team. 5-1, and the return leg will be coming up this week. Morocco Dandre of Madagascar under 20. Of course, there's Walid Regragui for Morocco, and there's Papetel for Senegal. For Mahmoud Okwabi for Morocco's under 20. Player of the year nominees. Don't forget your live from Milan 98.3 FM. Sports Crew 6 to 7. Okazi of South Africa and Orlando Pirates. There's Momo Kamara for Sierra Leone and Minnesota United. There's Daniel Bemeyi for Nigeria and Primoje. There's Uthman Manman for Morocco and Watford and Sunderland. And there's also Ashraf Atabzoba for Burkina Faso and Real du Faso. The men's national team of the Bafana of South Africa from Algeria. There's the powerhouse Orlando Pirates from South Africa, Stellenbosch of South Africa, and Al Hilal of Sudan stands as today for the nominees will be able to come up with. There is, of course, for the goalkeeper of the year. She came fourth in the Ballon d'Or as the highest ranked women goalkeeper in that category. So you can always assume that maybe this time around, this title is as Champions League. Of course, let me run you through quickly. Chelsea starting 11 in goal as expected is with Enzo Fernandez and Romeo Lavia with Gustavo Facundo Bona. It's Wednesday, and don't forget that by 8 p.m. there's going to be Sage Babalola, Milan 98.3. Let's do this again tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m., same station. Just